This is going to be interesting because we discussed this at half-time, but time really was of the essence, as I said. The disallowed goal. But the two of you...
Or was it?
Well,
Adam, I'm going to sit next to you and then just watch these two.
By all means, we're wearing the same pair of shoes. Let's go with you first, Macca. I mean...
I personally think it's a goal, and I was willing to let it go until there was an incident in the second half. And this is the goal. Again, he puts it right under the keeper. For me, Sanchez gets a run and jump. I think his arm's in a natural position. I think Ward could do a lot better. He's standing jump, he could have punched it. His decision-making was really poor, and he was the weaker of the two. And I think the attacker should be given the goal. I don't think he doesn't take his eye off the ball. I don't think he's got any intention of fouling the keeper. And I think he gets enough on it. Mind you, actually, it hits the hand.
Yes, it doesn't come off, does it?
That. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't know. Do you know, I was so focused on Ward's arm.
No, it's a handball as well. That's the other thing.
Which we've missed. But for me, if that Sanchez had taken the touch and it had gone in, for me, that's a goal. That's a goal. And the point I was trying to make in the second half is, I don't know if we can see it.
I think we're going to try to bring up, there's a clip, an incident, I think this is what, 69:30.
Yeah.
So there's a foul on Kane, but just before that, as the ball is flicked onto Kane, Royale, it looked very similar.
Right, so watch this, right? So tell me...
Static jump,
right,
up.
Exactly
Royale
the same.
Comes in, arm up.
The referee waits play on.
Yeah, but the difference is...
it's not a goalkeeper, you're going to say, innit?
No, well, Justin's not... he can't use his hands to use the ball, to catch the ball. And with Ward, he can use his hands, and Sanchez is blocking his hands from attempting to catch the ball. So he's impeding his but he's impeding his legal movement, like a player sticking a leg across and tripping a player over. That's my point. Not whether Ward should have run it in, done it, attacked the ball in a different way. He was impeded in trying to catch the ball.
I tell you what, I don't know if we can see it again. Can we see that again?
Which one do you want to see first?
The slow motion of the run and jump.
Can we just see the 69:30
Now,
incident?
the argument JMO posed to me was his arm come out, and my argument back was, well, that's a natural position. Because if you're going to run and jump, now watch him run and jump. Watch the right arm. There you go. Now that right arm comes up for leverage.
Arm down in contact.
Because the defender, he puts his arm across and he pulls his arm down. But you've got to get your arm up to get leverage to jump, haven't you?
James surely looking at me.
No, I'm looking at you because I'm waiting for you to answer. Right, yeah. He actually starts bringing his arms down, whereas Sanchez keeps his arm across. Yeah, but this is the point. It's because Ward can use his hands, and he's stopping Ward from being able to do that. That is a foul.
Okay.
If it was against a defender and somehow that was determined a foul, I would agree. Yeah, well, defender can't catch it, but Ward could have caught that.
Scott and I can be crash test dummies, and you can put us into position and how things should be.
There's enough room in here.
We could dummies, Adam.
We're always dummies, but
yeah.
I'm going to have to bring you in here as a referee of sorts, I guess.
I can't believe it. I've got the
how would you jump?
Weight.
Honestly, how would you jump? How long is your arm allowed to stay in the air compared to Sanchez?
No, what I would say is, and I don't want to sit in the fence because I don't like doing that, but I can see I can see both positions in terms of you come up and your arm comes. I want my keeper to be powerful, to come, even if I'm a defender and he's my keeper, if he has to come through me and the attacker and I'm on the floor for 2 minutes getting treatment, so be it. I want my goalkeeper to be strong, to be powerful, to say if I'm coming for something, I'm going to win it. Because he didn't do that. The only thing I would say is that his arm wasn't just like that, which would be very natural. It was like that. So therefore, JMO's argument is he's impeding a part of the body that he can use in the game. So a keeper can use his arm in the way that he's saying a defender can use his leg. I still feel that he should be a lot stronger. But I do think with the laws of the game, it's the correct decision. But if I had my choice and I could do what I preferred, I'd say, I want you to be stronger. That's a goal.
And this is an interesting discussion because it's also about consistency across the Premier League. If they're going to say that isn't goal, then you expect it to be applied across the board. Again, humans make mistakes, though, and not every referee is the same. They're not robots. However, I want to highlight two moments from earlier this season, both involving Arsenal. So first up, Arsenal versus Villa. And there was a goal which came in straight from a corner, Douglas Luiz, and there was a very contentious debate there about Ramsdale. Was he fouled or was he not fouled? That he wasn't allowed to get to the ball, that his body was impeded in trying to stop the ball going to the back of the net. Here.
It's Ollie Watkins, isn't it? I mean, Ollie Watkins stands his ground. He doesn't have to move for Ramsdale. He doesn't have to allow Ramsdale to come for the ball. Ramsdale's put himself in a disadvantaged position and then tries to fight his way out of it. So therefore, Ollie Watkins, I don't think, has done anything wrong.
But he's got his arms wrapped around him. Watkins, if we just play it again, and Mac, I want your take as well. He's literally got his arms wrapped around Ramsdale. I mean,
and Ramsdale is pushing himself into Watkins, trying to move him. And if you're talking about natural, it's a little bit ambiguous, isn't it? Natural position. I mean, it's natural to do certain things and whatever. But I think with Watkins there, because Ramsdale's pushing on him, you would naturally try and hold yourself with your arms behind you. He's not going to put them in front of him when the guy's applying pressure from behind. But that's Ramsdale in a bad position, making it worse by fighting. The logical thing and the best thing to do is try and step round him. Whether that would actually work...
My initial reaction is, what's the defender doing on the near stick? He actually moves out. In fact, he leaves it.
Yeah.
He could have headed that. I don't know if we can see it again.
My reaction is that him not in the goalkeeper's union for once?
I switched off. I think it's a foul. I'm sticking up for you now. I think it's a foul on the keeper.
OK.
No, I don't think it's a foul.
Because it was given. That goal was given.
It's role reversal.
Yeah, I know.
I think, this is the difference. With Ward, he's impeded. And he was in the right position. Obviously, Sanchez runs across him. When you've got Ramsdale there putting himself in an unfavourable position and trying to fight his way through it, well, that's actually Ramsdale pushing Ollie Watkins out of the way. If Ollie Watkins fell on the floor, then it should be a penalty.
His starting position is very poor.
Yeah.
You know, and to allow him to be that close and to have that contact where Ollie Watkins can, whether he's holding on to him or using his arms and not able to get round him, that's poor positioning from the very
Kamara,
start.
I think it was Kamara, who was infringing there.
What is poor as well is the fact that none of the Arsenal players have come to protect their keeper by getting it in between Watkins and Ramsdale. I mean, they basically left it to be a fight.
That's defensive setup. So when you're doing your practice...
What would you want there?
I would have a player in between just to hold them off so I could get my movement in around behind.
That's where you see all the arguments happening, isn't it? You know, when you see it and the referee has to step in the corners. It's usually that incident.
Why don't we just do one more for fun? It involves Arsenal again, and this time at the other end of the pitch, though, for the Gunners. It was against Fulham. It's quite late on, and I think we were discussing it off-air earlier, but I'm not sure Mako or Jamo have seen it just yet. So just take a look once more. And
Gabriel, wasn't it?
It was Gabriel this time.
Got the winner.
He got the winner very late on. Again, contentious decision. So that's the question I'm bringing up again is consistency here. Was former Arsenal goalkeeper Leno infringed here in any way? OK, Jamo's laughing.
Sorry, no,
because he just makes a complete mess of it.
OK.
Well, this is probably the middle of both of what we've just seen with Ward and with Ramsey. Yeah. You've got a goalkeeper who's put himself in a bad position, made a bad judgment, and then got impeded while he was doing the wrong thing. No foul on the goalkeeper, because if he does the right thing, and this is if he steps right and attacks it, he gets a clear view. But he's trying to jump through a player and draw a foul at the same time, which is his fault.
OK.
Yeah, I agree with him. There you go.
Wow.
One out of three we agree on.
That's not bad.
Let's just say I agree. Make it easy.
I thought you would disagree, and then you would get involved in the conversation here.
Well, what we are seeing there, if we're looking at three instances, only one where the keeper's being really protected, and the other two, which seems to be the narrative now in terms of tackles, and hopefully with goalkeepers as well, is that we're happy with a bit of physical contact. Let it go, let it play.
The other lesson I think here is referees are human, and you can ask for consistency, but everyone's going to interpret a situation differently.
It's not just referees, though. When it's goals, it's VAR as well.
But it's their interpretation as well, isn't it?
Can I just butt in here, sorry? With regards to consistency, as long as the same referee is consistent in his valuation,
own games,
as opposed to all referees being the same, I think because they're human, it would be wrong to expect a different referee to give the same answer for every decision. As long as the same referee gives the same decisions in certain circumstances.
I think you're right to a point, but when it comes to goals and then VAR's involved, there should be a rule, a law. This is what happens if this happens, you know. So therefore, there should be that consistency. I personally like the fact of referees having the ability. We used to complain, oh, there's no consistency. Now we've got VAR and saying, well, the law's saying this, we're not happy with that. Oh, that shouldn't be the law. And let's just go back to do you know what? Stop complaining about consistency. Referees will look at it in different ways. Different referees will look at it in different ways and just go with it.
Yeah.
Let's stop arguing all the time. You know, especially if it's referees making a decision. We could talk for ages about VAR. And I personally, I'm a fan of VAR, but I think referees should be in control of it. VAR shouldn't be controlling referee or saying go to the edge. Because how many times do you see them overturning it? I think I've seen it once. Where was it Michael Oliver?
It was the Forest game, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, where he said, no, I'm sticking with my decision. Generally speaking, they're not even thinking now, or not even looking at the instance. They're thinking, someone else thinks I've made a wrong decision. There's 40,000 people around here, millions around the world watching. What's the political decision? Even if it's subconscious. They're now not looking objectively at the actual thing because they've been asked to go over and maybe they've missed something. So I just think referees should be in absolute control, and unless they've missed something off the ball that's 50 yards, there, VAR don't get involved.
Yeah,
don't get involved.